gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police when I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, shout around? It's a Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Let's move on now. Gun violence horror in the United States again. A 7-year-old died after being hit by a bullet. She was among 8 people in all who suffered gunshot wounds as a 29-year-old opened random fire in Chicago's Back of the Yards neighborhood.
So, guys, I've already spoken on this before, and it's pretty disheartening that we have to have a foreign media company reporting on the violence in the community, which we know this type of violence is in many times exclusive to the community.
A 7-year-old girl succumbed to her wounds after being shot in the head. Police say 7 people are in hospital with gunshot wounds, including 3 children.
There was a total at this time of 8 people shot, 5 adults and 3 children. The adults vary in age from 19 to 40 years old. The children, there's one 1-year-old male Hispanic who was shot multiple times. He's in critical condition. There's a 7-year-old male Hispanic also shot multiple times in critical condition. And there's a 7-year-old female Hispanic who was shot in the head, and she has succumbed to her injuries. And she.
Damn. So this is in the Comunitino, which we know that Chicago is dealing with an illegal immigration situation going on. So could it have been one of them who were the shooters? You know, it's a very sad thing going on that we can't get a grasp on how to solve this issue. And it's very simple, it's very rudimentary, but a lot of people like to act like it's more difficult than it actually is.
She's now pronounced dead.
Officers responded to an alert raised after 18 rounds were fired at the location. The police say that the shooting was likely the result of gun violence and not a random act. The exact motive and reasons for the attack are still not known.
Now, the police said that the shooting was likely the result of gang violence and not a random act. The exact motive and reason for the attack are under investigation. Gun violence horror in the U.S. again. A 7-year-old died after being hit by a bullet. She was.
We have 7-year-olds being killed in the Comunitino over this insanity, and we've gotten a lot of illegal aliens who come to the city of Chicago, and they are active gang members. I would say at least a third of the people coming over the border are gang members when it comes to these Latin American countries, South American countries. So, you know, it's a very scary time because you really don't know who is in your neighborhood.
Among 8 people among who suffered gunshot wounds as a 29-year-old opened random fire in Chicago's Back of the Yards neighborhood. A 7-year-old girl succumbed to her wounds after being shot in the head. Police say that 7 people are in hospital with gunshot wounds, including 3 children.
There's a total at this time of 8 people shot, 5 adults and 3 children. The adults vary in age from 19 to 40 years old. The children, there's one 1-year-old male Hispanic who was shot multiple times. He's in critical condition. There's a 7-year-old male Hispanic also shot multiple times in critical condition. And there's a 7-year-old female Hispanic who was shot in the head, and she has succumbed to her injuries, and she's now pronounced dead.
Officers responded to an alert raised after 18 rounds were fired at the location. The police said that the shooting was likely the result of gang violence and not a random act. The exact motive and reasons for the attack are under investigation. Police say as many as 23 people have been shot, 4 of them fatally, in gun violence across Chicago just this weekend.
Breaking overnight, a mass shooting in the Back of the Yards neighborhood leaves an 8-year-old girl dead, 3 other children wounded, and 7 adults also wounded. Chicago police say it happened around 9:30 last night near 52nd and Damon. Witnesses told police that 2 shooters approached a group which was having an outdoor family gathering. Then they opened fire. Chicago police say this was not a random act.
Regardless of the motivation for this incident, 3 innocent children were struck tonight, and one of them tragically succumbed to her wounds. The offender's actions, make no mistake, are horrific and unacceptable in our city.
Yeah, I mean, that may be true, but what's going to happen if we find out that the people who did this were in fact illegal aliens? What's going to happen then? Are they going to be deported? Are they going to be, prosecuted? Probably not. They'll probably just get a slap on the wrist, released, something like that, because that is how Chicago operates. They don't solve their murders. When they do find suspects for their murders, in many cases, they just let them go.
Officers found 18 bullets on the scene. The adult victims range from 19 to 40 years old. A 1-year-old and 8-year-old boy are in critical condition.
We're in trouble, Chicago. And some people need to realize the trouble we're in. Some people need to recognize the trouble they're in. Otherwise, we're all going to be in a world of trouble.
That suspect is still on the run. If you know anything about this shooting last night, call Chicago police.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetizing shadow banning this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
Breaking news overnight, a mass shooting in Back of the Yards left a little girl dead and 10 other people hurt.
And 4 total children are among the victims. Jen DeSalvo is live in the control center with the latest developments. Jen.
Yeah, Patrick and Kate, some early new information from Chicago police this morning. They've been investigating during the overnight hours, and last night they had believed 8 people were harmed, but that new information tells us there are 11 victims, and 3 or 4 of them, that is, young children.
And this is the danger that our children are being put in every single day. In the community, in the communitino, and it's got to stop. These burrito gremlins are on demon time.
We're told it was outside of a family party near 52nd Street in Damon. A bunch of the attendees were outside in front of the home when a witness says a black sedan pulled up, and someone they did not know began firing out of that car into the crowd. That was around 9:30 last night. 8 adults were hit, and so were 4 little kids, including a little girl, just 8 years old. She did not survive, and police say this was not a random act.
It was likely gang-related. Regardless of the motivation for this incident, 3 innocent children were struck tonight, and one of them tragically succumbed to her wounds.
And what people don't understand is that most mass shootings are, in fact, gang-related. The idea that the majority of mass shootings are, white nationalists or white supremacists going into a building or school or whatever and airing it out. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but that's not what the majority of the makeup of the data says about the demographics of suspects who commit these mass shootings, because we know the FBI identifies a mass shooting as 4 or more shot. So we have these scenarios happening very often in the Comunitino, and this one just so happened to happen in the Comunitino. And my question is, when does it end? When do we finally decide to say, hey, we've got to work together to end this thing? Otherwise, we're not going to have a Comunitao. We're not going to have a Comunitino. So, that's my question.
The offender's actions, make no mistake, are horrific and unacceptable.
The adult victims range in age from 19 to 40 years old. And as for the children, there's a 9-year-old boy who is said to be fine. The 8-year-old and 1-year-old boys, well, they are both in critical condition. Police are asking that anyone with information please call or submit a tip at cpdtip.com. As of this morning, Patrick, there's nobody yet in custody.
Chicago police say an 8-year-old girl was killed and 10 others hurt, including 3 other young children in a shooting on the city's south side.
This happened last night near 52nd and Damon in the back of the Yards neighborhood. Our Christian Picos is live at the University of Chicago Medical Center with the latest. Christian.
Kate and Mark, at this hour, 3 people are in critical condition, including that 1-year-old child after a shooting last night near 52nd and South Damon in the city's back of the Yards neighborhood. This all happening, according to police, on the 2000 block of West 52nd just after 9:15 p.m. last night. Chicago police say 11 people were shot, including that 8-year-old girl who died. So in total, we're talking 7 adults, 4 kids shot. CPD says a ShotSpotter alert picked up 18 gunshots. Police say officers performed life-saving measures when first responders arrived. CPD Deputy Chief Don Jerome says this was likely a targeted incident.
This was not a random act of violence. It was likely gang-related. Regardless of the motivation for this incident, 3 innocent children were struck tonight, and one of them tragically succumbed to her wounds. The offender's actions, make no mistake, are horrific and unacceptable in our city.
According to a witness on scene, the shots were fired from a black sedan that sped off southbound on Damon. At this hour, we are awaiting the latest conditions on the people shot last night. This morning, police say no one is in custody.
We're following breaking news this morning. A mass shooting overnight, leaving 1 child dead in the back of the Yards neighborhood. We've also learned 10 other people, among them children, adults, also wounded. CBS 2's Asal Rizai live at Comer Children's Hospital now with more. Asal.
Yeah, Suzanne, good morning. A lot of new details just coming down from Chicago police. You mentioned 11 total victims, 4 of them children. We've learned the young girl killed, actually 8 years old, was pronounced dead here at the hospital. I want to show you video we have of that scene from overnight. This happened just before 9:30 on 52nd Street, just west of Damon. Police say someone inside of a black sedan drove up, firing multiple shots into a crowd of people before heading southbound on Damon. A source tells me those children were playing outside when the shooting happened. Adults inside on that porch. Police say that 8-year-old died after being shot in the head. We know a 1-year-old boy was shot once in the stomach, an 8-year-old boy shot twice, both brought here to Comer's in critical condition. A 9-year-old boy's hand grazed by a bullet. Thankfully, he's in good condition here. 7 adults shot, taken to area hospitals. We're told they're in good condition, expected to recover from their injuries. 1 adult victim, though, in critical condition this morning.
The offender's actions, make no mistake, are horrific and unacceptable in our city.
And police say they do not believe this was a random act of violence. They say it's likely gang related. They're asking anyone with any information to come forward. They say so far no one is in custody. I'm live at Comer Children's Hospital. Asal Rizai, CBS 2 News.
Gang violence and other kind of violence. So it is what it is.